Welcome to the Flat Track Factory. I have a special treat for you today, and by request of a viewer, I've got Mike O'Neill. Mike O'Neill is a friend of the channel, flat track racer, and engineer in the braking industry. If you've watched our channel before, he's been on and shown us some of his stuff. We're still trying to get into his amazing cave for something else. But today, we're going to talk about a braking issue. Mike, could you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself again?
Yeah, I've been racing flat track for more years than I care to admit. I've been in the design business of designing brake systems, mostly for professional race cars, for 26 years, and occasionally here for flat track bikes. And we try to help out people where they can on their brakes.
Yeah, and for those of you that ever had the pleasure to come to the Southeast and watch the vintage classes, Mike O'Neill has a style that stands out, and I can tell you, because he won't, that his riding is immaculate. So not only does he have the education and the experience in the raking industry, he also can ride the hell out of a flat track bike. And he also worked for a team.
Yes, Wally Brown Racing. We had a little run out with the KTM here a few weeks ago with our first chance out.
How'd you do?
Well, we did okay. Won our first time out with James Rispoli, excellent rider, and
Yeah.
Roger and Purcell and Wally have a lot of work into this bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent results for first time out. We're happy.
Yeah, I'll bet. All right, so what is the point of this video? Well, I don't want to give it away entirely. Let's kind of ease into it. This motorcycle is rideable.
Now this bike is unrideable.
Now let's pick Mike's brain and find out why us racers do the things that we do, why it matters, and how it can improve your program. Mike, what from your perspective as a racer and an engineer is going on here with the lever heights and the body position? Could you explain how those two things interact?
Well, it's about much more than, it's not an on-off switch. You want fine control and modulation. So you want the pedal in a position where you can work it easily and control it. And you got to think about, all right, when I'm going to use the brake, where is my body position and where does that put my foot naturally? So when I'm going into the turn, I'm going to slide up near the tank, and that's going to change my foot position a little bit. Actually going to move my toe down a little bit. So this might be my natural position going down the straight, but when I go into the turn, I'm going to slide forward a little bit, and that's going to move my toe down. Now, where I want the brake pedal at that point is just within a quarter inch of the sole of my shoe, and maybe not touching it. And that puts it in a very natural position for being able to control it and precisely modulate that pressure going to the rear caliper.
And I'll put a link in the description of this video to my body position video to explain why your crotch needs to be forward on the motorcycle on the way in and the way out. So the way out of the corner, your booty is going to be in the back and the angle of your toe is going to be up. And as you move forward, as Mike just explained, to go into the corner, your foot naturally is going to come forward. Is that about right?
That's an accurate description.
Okay. Let's talk about one other thing that is personal preference. And you know us racers get really particular about this. Talk about the leverage ratios and how hard you have to push on the brake pedal and the different types of racers that complain about different things.
Yeah, the problem is if it's too easy to push, you can't control it. And if it's too hard to push, it's going to wear yourself out. But it has to be hard enough to push that, you know, a small difference in foot force doesn't make a huge difference in brake force.
Yes. So for me, for example, and poor Mike has been subjected to my complaining for years about this. One of the negatives to being my neighbor is I know where he lives, so I can come and complain about this. And Mike has a really neat spreadsheet where we can, I can come to him and I just say something like, "This bike's unrideable," and then we get past that, and he does the, can I have some more?
Sure.
Can I have some more details?
Well, yes, we'll go into what size master cylinder it is, what size the pistons are on the caliper, the diameter of the disc, and then this leverage ratio between the foot and the master cylinder. Basically, this length here divided by this length here.
So what I like is a brake pedal that requires a large amount of force.
Right.
The reason that I want that is I can't tell the difference between 2 or 3 pounds of force. I need 15. So if threshold braking is, let's just say 76 pounds, I need to modulate between 75 and 76. If it was 7 pounds and 8 pounds, I couldn't tell that difference, especially if the bike is bucking.
Right.
So it's just it's a feel for me. I'm a princess. The P and the princess. Is that the story?
Well, yeah, and like you said earlier tonight, if it only took 10 pounds of force in this pedal to lock up the brakes, then a 2-pound change would be a 20% change in your brake torque, and that's a big amount.
Yeah.
2 pounds out of 60 is a lot smaller amount.
And also on a flat track bike, we're braking with the wrong end of the motorcycle, right? So we turn to the corner, it becomes primarily a front end activity, right? We're doing a lot of work on the front end.
Yeah.
The back end is relatively light.
Absolutely, and especially after you go into the turns, a lot of times you're not on the brake that long. At least you shouldn't be, because you can't turn with your foot on the brake.
Yeah.
And then you let off the brake, and you might be scrubbing off speed with the front end.
Yeah, which is a whole nother ball of snakes. Easier said than done, right? But kind of a fun tangent, a lot of people describing an incident where they end up having to crash the bike when they're coming up on somebody turned in front of them. The instinct is, oh, I need to slow down more. You step on the brake more, the bike slows down less. Really, in that instance, what do you really need to do?
Lay it down, get it sideways.
Or let off the brake, maybe, right? And actually get the bike to lean over more. So these subtle little things are why us racers get extremely particular about things like, another thing. My bike has 0 throttle play. Some guys can't stand that. It's just it's a comfort level, right? You got to keep the crazy part of this whole package happy.
And the crazy rider.
Yeah, and that's one and the same. So that's our video here. Viewer suggested about his problem he had with a inappropriately high brake pedal and some of the problems it caused. And we're lucky enough to have Mike O'Neill come here and give you a professional explanation as to how this stuff works. So if you have questions or comments, of course, put them down in the description below. And as always, YouTube is now going to put up some other videos from the back catalog that it might think that you like to see. And I'll also tell you, encourage Mike in the comments to let us into his shop, because he has some stuff down there that you would not believe.
We'll get there.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.